All right, guys, Sam here one last time today, October 5th, getting into the early afternoon. I wanted to show you something because I know a lot of people do this, and I want you to, I'm not saying don't do this, I'm just saying approach with caution. So a lot of people will go to the crypto market and just say, all right, what's moving? What's moving? Where can I pounce on something? So I did that today, just kind of curious. And again, I know a lot of people will take this approach, right? So I'm here in the crypto market, and I've got it against the U.S. dollar now. And so I look and say, well, under performance, and all I did was say, well, who's my highest performer for the week? And I see some coin called spread coin. Well, I don't know anything about it, but interestingly, I go over to Bitcoin, and same thing. It's the highest performer for both the dollar and Bitcoin. Well, now I'm kind of curious. So first thing I do is I go over to CoinGecko and try and learn a little bit about what they're all about. And again, I'll let you do your own reading here. But first point of caution is on their metric scale, which again, I'll let you read here. You can dig in a little bit on how they're ranking these coins. I prefer to stay with coins with a ranking of 50 or higher. So maybe this gets there. It's kind of an interesting concept. So I'm willing to look at it, on the possibility that maybe there's something here, and that's on 36 on its way, to 50 and higher. I come down here and I see, well, it's not a brand new coin, right? Well, I guess it's new this year, I guess we would say. Not a lot of action down here. Not a big, development. Thread based, not a lot of Twitter followers. I'm suspicious, right? So I'm looking at this. Well, against the dollar, it's a $2 coin. Well, all right, that's let's take a look at it. It's got $18 million of market cap, worth looking at. So I go here. So here it is against the dollar. So I bring this up, and I'm looking at a 12-hour just to say, all right, well. Where's the trend? What are we doing here? I blow it up here. And so, this is pretty much all this year. So, well, monster move here, but, now we're starting to correct. Okay. Now, is there anybody following me? I hope if you've been following me for a while, that we know we're looking for 3s and 5s, right? Just rudimentary basics of Elliott wave structure, right? Markets, they trend in 5s, they correct in 3s. All right. So this should be, really easy for anyone to see. Right, so there's a nice, clean 5-wave sequence. Everything you'd expect. Okay, so you got look here. So the wave 1 low, 4 challenges it but doesn't overlap it. Wave 3 is our longest wave. We get a nice retracement. I promise you that's some sort of fib relationship there. So let's look from the 2 to the 3. Oh, we go right to the 50, and then we go down, and we even go through the negative 23. All right, so what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that algos are trading it. So this is not random. The 4 not overlapping the 1, that isn't just a coincidence. Oh, it's so unusual how often that happens. No, that's not it, right? So that's definitely algorithmic activity here. Okay, so we can say, okay, well, there's a pretty harsh correction, right? From this, right? We're almost 100% of it. So, is this pump and dump? I don't really care. What do I care about? Do I have structure here that I can trade? Well, if I go here now and I look all the way up and I go to my 5-wave structure, what am I anticipating? If I had nothing but right here, what am I anticipating? Well, I'm anticipating a 3-wave structure. And if I go from high to low, where does that go? To the 618 to the tick, right? Again, that's not coincidence. Okay, that's happening for a reason. More algo tracks, right? I always think of them like footprints in the snow, right? That's what comes to my mind. The algo tracks. Okay, so let's look here for the AB. Okay, we go down. We get just a few ticks from the 618, and we go up, and there's the negative 23. Well, they may not be able to get to that negative 23. Well, they weren't, right? So we get to the 618, can't quite get to the negative 23, but pretty damn close. And the 618 holds it to the tick. So well, we know that markets trend in fives, and they correct in threes. So we can pretty clearly, again, just as rudimentary. It's almost hard to believe. Right, because you see it theoretically, you read it in a book, you see me talking about it, and here I'm just randomly picking this coin because it was on the top of the performance list on TradingView. So it's not like this isn't happening every day in every market across every asset class. If you're looking for a methodology that is consistently found in the markets, you're on the right track, right? You're on the right track. Okay, so maybe you need more proof of it, right? So, but if we do nothing other than concentrate on markets trending in fives, correcting in threes, and we're pulling fibs, you're way ahead of most people, and you're gonna do well in the markets. All right, so I'm on a 12-hour chart here. So so we go back to our list, right? So, wow, screaming higher. Look at these gains. Do you? It's 2,000% for the year. Year to date, 2,600%. Do you want to be a buyer here? I don't. I mean, that is just Now, would I sell it? I'm not. Rarely am I on the short side in crypto because I'm looking for buys because of this potential. But once I get enough data here to see it, well, I got all sorts of things to work from here. Look at that. Again, that doesn't happen by accident. Right, so we're right to the median line. We're coming down here. Does that mean we're done here? Well, I'm not necessarily saying that, but I would tell you that the odds are that this has got more correction to do. So that's likely. There's our B wave, and we're coming down here for a C. Let me change that color and make it. We'll go to a primary. I'll show you the wave, and we'll put it on white. Okay, so that would be the odds because we know. Fives must correct. Well, I hate to use language that's absolute. Fives will typically correct in threes. How about we go with that, right? So here's our clean five. Here's our correction. Here's our three. So if this is the trend is down, and we're correcting in three, the expectation is now for the trend to continue. This is much, across crypto, we're seeing this a lot. Right? So until this proves otherwise, the expectation now is trend is down because of the five, the three-wave correction. Now what we're looking for is evidence to show me an impulsive move down here. Get down here? Oh, yeah, I could definitely be a buyer here. I mean, this gives it more time to develop. Maybe it becomes, it gets more, interest in the development community. That scale on CoinGecko is moving up closer to 50. There may be opportunity, but I am definitely not a buyer here. That's just screams to me. So if this were, easier to trade on the short side, what am I looking for? Now I'm on a 12-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour. Well, if that's my good pivot, let me take some of this off. Now I'm looking for the two, right? We're trying to find twos and threes or Bs. All right, so if this is going to unfold impulsively, which is the expectation, then there's a 1-2. I'm looking for 3, 4, 5. Let me put the wave on it just to again make it a little bit easier to follow. And I'll take this one off since we've made that point. Okay, 1-2. Is there a trade there? Well, you're a little late. You're a little late if you're a short seller. If you're on the short side, you're a little late to that. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. So I'm going to pull this off just to declutter because now we're just looking at the short side from this low to this high, right to the 618. somebody fired up TradingView today and said, "Wow, what's on the move?" And I guess if you're a scalper, you got a little action there, you got a little buzz, but likely this starts to move lower. So if you're comfortable going short, if this starts to unfold into a 3, you're looking for the 4. And expectation is that there's much lower to go, right? Much lower. I can't even. Oh, we took it off, but the C wave was way down here. We got much lower to go, right? No absolutes here. I'm not saying that must happen. I'm saying the probability is that that's the path that it takes. Until proven otherwise, that would be the expectation. That would be the expectation. So, it's even uglier against Bitcoin, which I think I brought it up here. Here it is against Bitcoin. Well, some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first thing you're doing is you're checking for algos. Well, they got a little ugly here. A little ugly on that. Am I dialed in on that low? Right. Well, so you had a little wick runner, but interestingly, this wave holds it here, or this pivot, I should say. So, if you were a buyer there, you may have been stopped out. Maybe you give it a little more room because of that pivot, but you didn't get far before you came right back in. Now, here we are yet again, one more time, looking at that little window between the 618 and the 65. I suppose if I pulled all the way back, we're going to line up with the 50. That's interesting. All right, so there's your 1, 2, 3, right? From low, absolute low, to high, we come to the 50, and then we go up to the negative 23. All right, again, that's algo activity. So is it is it tradable now? Well, if you were looking for that sequence to continue, that's been broken. So you were broken right here, really, right? And you don't have good wave structure. So coming to the other sorry guys, coming to the other side. Yeah. Well, 50. That's why trade it? Why, you might as well be rolling dice there. Where's it going? Is it just stuck between two 50s? Well, maybe. If I pull from here, well, there's that 618. 50. So we just some sort of back and forth. There's no structure that's really worthwhile unless you're willing to buy it, and when it comes down here to this little pocket and then sell it at the 50. Why? There's no reason to trade that. It's not good enough. There are too many other markets to trade with much better structure, with higher probability plays. But if you absolutely put a gun to my head and said find a trade in here. I suppose you could look at this. If you want to be a bull, well, you're in between. I'll take that off just to declutter. Well, here's your 618. You got your 144, 169, the 233 all lined up right there. So if I were going to trade this, I'd be looking for entry right there, but I would have a tight stop on it. Why take the risk? If you get in that little pocket, that's a technique I'm borrowing from years of forex trading. This is called the Vegas wave, so it's the 144 EMA and the 169 EMA, and then I use the 233, just a variation on the 200 period, which is very commonly used. I'm just going to a fib number at 233, but in that little pocket between the 144 and the 169, that's commonly used in the forex markets because they trend so much. So it's a good place to enter or re-enter, look for support or resistance. So is there a trade there? Yeah. Would I take it? No. It's just not good enough. I suppose you could say you got a 1, 2, big 3, sloppy 4, put a risk reward on it. It's not horrible. Right. I mean, I would be very tight with a stop, even to give that a little wicking room, because we saw it do that before. 12 to 1. I mean, is that going to happen? Who knows? who knows? But you got a fib fight here because you got the 50. You know, if you recall from the high to the low, we ran into the 50 twice here, double tops or bearish. We're coming down here, but is that a setup? Possibly. Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4? You know, is that a 1? That's just not great structure. Not great structure. Too many other. You know, think about the pretty wave structure in Bitcoin or Litecoin or some of the others that we looked at today, even Neo or NIM, or Dash. There's just better structure. This, yeah, that could play. You could get a big hit there, but you know you can go to Vegas and get 10 blackjacks in a row too. I mean, shit happens, but that's just as a trader, that's not good enough for my criteria. Not to mention, we come back here, and I'm not at my scale, so it's not meeting any of my criteria. Where is it getting interest, or why are people being drawn to it? Because of this. That's your best performer for the week. Well, just things to consider. There it is against the dollar. I'll save this, and then we'll come back to it and visit this. I like to leave these up and see how it unfolds. All right, that's the main point I wanted to make today. That's 16 minutes. Okay, I'll wrap it there. That's it for the day. All right, guys, I'll likely be back to you tomorrow. All right, good trading.